Let's look at how you can integrate some ideas from the past into tracks, mashing up orchestral backing with some modern genres. Here we have a simple sort of string-based arrangement of Chopin's Prelude in C minor, opus number 28, number 20 to be exact. We flesh it out with a low string part, which just adds a bit of bass end there. And it's kind of a good place to start for an orchestral type track such as this. Then we can explore the ways in which we can add a bit of a contemporary twist. We're adding a number of different bass parts here, which add 4 different flavours to the mix. And they're all following those held notes of that low string part. Some of them got a bit of movement in there, modulation. And together they add some interest to the proceedings. Running them through this volume shape, which is a kind of side chaining, automatic side chaining plug-in, which allows you just to dip the level of those. They're going through a group, they're just dipped every so often, ready for when we actually add our drums. So far, it's quite a slow pace. So what we're going to do is we're going to push the tempo up to about 140 BPM. Which will then allow us to do something a little bit more bombastic, perhaps, in terms of the drums. A bit of a sort of dubstep flavour coming through. So let's have a look at those drums. We've got a kick and a snare pattern. The regular snare being matched by that syncopated kick. We've got a bit of a 808, mixed 808 style percussion. This is actually a recycled loop being triggered, been reprogrammed a little bit in places and quantized. And some crashes as well. What we're going to do now is take those strings out. We've got the MIDI, so we can actually then replace the strings with something else. We're going to go for a synth sound. And we've got this other sound, this warp chords, which is a bit of weird stuff. The synth, by the way, is Retrolog, being used for those saw pads, so it's an analog style, subtractive synth. Those warp chords do this interesting little movement left and right. So they're being arpeggiated internally. And there's the pad sound, rolled off some of the top end there. You can see when you take that off, it really opens it up. Now I've got this loop mash plugin, which we'll have a look at that in a minute. You can see I'm sort of clicking around. I'm using various key presses to trigger different effects. Some more effective than others, of course, on that synth. take the original drums out. And what I'm going to do now is kind of slow it right down. So I'm going to go to 80, so I'm lower than the original. I'm just adding this basic, full sort of kind of glitch hop style loop. And you can see where it takes it somewhere else altogether, almost half the tempo of what we were doing just now. We can take those held strings and go through a different string sound, and it's just running through an arpeggiator. Going up and down based on those chords. And we can do the same thing obviously with the synth. So we've got this synth part here running very, very fast. One 30-second notes, and it's triggering random notes from that sequence. Slow it down a bit, sounds a little bit better. Just another flavour to throw in there, and we can obviously manipulate that a lot if we want to. If we take that EQ, that high pass filter, big up on the low pass filter on there, off, it opens up the top end. And we could use the same ploy as before as using the volume shaper. And you can hear it's doing some, it's just dipping that volume down. And we could bring those strings back in. There's that volume shape we were playing around with before on that synth sound. Bring it in and out in time with the music. And lots of fun.